can just go to just search for TestRail on the comes up. You just can just pick that line. So, see this one, Gurok, whatever this name. So just go to that site and it gives you a 30 days free trial. And there are two options. This one has like you can either download or you can just use the SaaS version, the online version. So I just signed up to the SaaS version and yeah, if you see, just click here, just sign up. That's it. That's simple it is. But basically, it looks like this tool has its limitations and it can be used only as a Jira add-in. You can't use it individually. I'll tell you the reason being you can't raise defects in this one. Now let's have an overview of this tool. So once you are logged in, you will see like this. Basically, you'll see a dashboard. Basically, it tells you how many projects you have basically. So that's what. So I created one project the other day. So that's this project. To create a project and maybe and okay, I'll give you an overview. Then we'll create a project and work through it. So basically, you have to create a project, add some test cases, run the test cases, and you get the results. So, and as I said to you, you can't raise defects. So to raise the defects again, because if it is a Jira, if it's part of Jira, inside the Jira, if you add it as a plugin, that means you can raise issues in Jira and assign them to this tool. So yeah, that part I'm not covering because we are not using Jira here. I'm just going to show you the tool itself. So let's go back to the dashboard again and let's create another project. Add project. Just put something like testing learning project. Now there are so many options of selecting the projects, but the simplest way is you can use a single repository project. That means all your test cases sit under one repository. One repository in simple terms would be one folder. It would be the easiest one and the best way to track your test cases also. So let's leave it as default and click on add project. And the project, so you will see that one, testing learning, that's our project now. So yep, so we created the project, that's it, nothing more than that. So okay, now that's what we are seeing on the dashboard. Now testing learning project, let's go inside it and add milestones. Add milestones is nothing but basically it's like your releases. In a project you will have several releases, so basically you are just telling like, okay, this is my release 1, so you are saying it's release version 1.0. That's the release we are looking at. And yeah, if you have selected anything, if you had a parent release like epic release, we don't have. So in this release, for example, we are testing login functionality. So that's that one. Then there would be start date and end date. So usually you will have 2 weeks cycle for your start date, end date for any release or any sprint you could take that way. And add milestone. So we added a milestone. Then if you go to overview, you will see like, okay, that milestone is there. Now to add test cases, you have to just click on okay, there is another option also. Let me show you one second. Just 1 second. Any question with the milestone? Milestones is basically just like your releases. That's it. Like if you have used ALM or any other tool, you will create your releases, and based in the releases you say, okay, I have this set number of stories to complete. So developers develop the stories, testers test the stories.
Is it like a grand chart that
This one,
yeah.
this is like an overview, but basically I'll tell you at the very end, it will give you a pie diagram or whatever, pie chart or graph diagram. It tells you how many test cases you have passed. So give me some more time. By the end of this, like once we create test cases and execute some of them, then you will see the list.
Okay.
See how many have been executed. So to add test cases, you have to just click on add here. That's it, and just give a title to it. So I would always recommend if you are doing any manual test cases, start as TC01. So TC means test case 01. If you are doing automation test, 8001. So that is the flow I use. So it's up to you. But So let's think like, okay, we are navigating to some website, navigating to software test lab. That's my test case, test lab. So okay, test case and template. Now, what type you want here? Because if you see here, you want to add steps to it. So you could say test case steps. Then it will allow you to add steps. Then it says add first step. It will come like that. Type, is it a functional test or whatever? So you select one of the options here. Priority, it's up to you. Estimate, okay, how many days it will take. It may take maybe 3 days to finish this one altogether by development and testing together. Reference, again, it's your Jira link here. You are giving a link to your Jira's stories. Automation type, no, we are not automating this one. Preconditions. Precondition is to navigate to any website, main thing, the precondition would be to have a browser. So browser should be available. um, should be available, and after that we need some test data. So in terms of test data, here we are looking at we need a URL. Yeah, URL equals something www.softwaretestlab.com.au. So basically we need something like that, a URL test data we need. Then okay, now let's add the steps, add our first step. So the first step is open browser from your desktop and click on desktop and enter URL as that and press enter key, enter and press enter key. Then what happens? System navigates to home page of software test lab. Yeah, test lab. So that's how we write our test cases. So here there is only one step in it. If you want to add more steps, then you can add. If you just click here as it, so, or you could and if there are any images like screenshots which you want to add for the steps, you can just click this one and add an image, then drag drop the image, or yeah, there's only option drag drop the image. So you can add the image. If you want to delete the test step, you can just delete here, and if you want to add another step, just click plus sign and it will pop up here. You add another step. That's how you add your test cases basically. So then once you added your steps, then add test case. So done, test case is added. Now it's asking, okay, those are the steps, and that was the test which we were looking at, TC01. Add another test. Yeah, let's add another one just to make it easy for ourselves. TC02 underscore navigate to login screen. So again, let's take it as steps. Estimate again. What one? Yep. And precondition is execute the previous test case, TC01. If you execute the previous test case, that means you are already on the home page of that software test lab. Now add steps. So here what we will say, from home page of software test lab, click on account link. Then what does system do? System navigates to login to my account screen. Login to my account screen. So yep, we wrote another test, and if we add any images, we added the images. That's done. We wrote another test case. So now we have two test cases. So any question here on how to add test cases?
Is there a way to import them in mass if you scripted them some other way, or you have a table in Excel?
Yeah, I have seen it. There is a way to import also. Let me see if I have noted down somewhere. If not, I'll come back to you with the details. But I have definitely seen, like, you can pick up a CSV file like your ALM and map one-to-one columns and import them.
Okay.
So yeah, and once we add our test cases, then if you go into our overview, then we can add a test run. So we have to add a test run to, it's like your ALM. You write your test cases in your test cases section, and after test plan, then you in test. Okay, should be all good. Yeah, everybody is back online. Yep, yep. Okay, guys, whoever wants to join, you have to click on that WhatsApp link and join. Okay, so let me start sharing my screen again. Okay, you guys can see my screen now, yeah?
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, add test run. So add test run will basically allow us to just add, let's add the test run. So we are telling like what type of test cases are these ones. So maybe you say like functional test for sprint one, functional test for sprint 101. So, and we give a reference. Then the milestone, we just created a milestone, release version, whatever, and assign. So you can assign it to yourself. Include all the tests. Now this test run will have all the tests. So if you see here, now under overview, uh, sorry, not under overview, back. So under test runs and results, now you see we have created a test run like that. Some name we gave, and after that we have assigned, we have linked all the test cases to this test run. That means we want to execute these test runs. So for example, in your company, you have smoke test, sanity test, functional integration, or system test cases. Then basically you create your test runs for each set and give it time frame, like okay, I want to do it from this time to this. One day I would do it for smoke test, one day I would do sanity, couple of days I need for functional integration, I need like 3-4 days. Like that you can set up yourself and work with it. So once you assign your test cases to your test run, basically the next step would be to execute the test cases. So to execute the test cases, basically you have to select that particular test case, whichever one is that. You just select that one and just click here. So it comes up like that. Then you could see the details about your test. So you could just click add results and you can execute your test case. But prior to doing so, we will see another thing. So there's another functionality in this one, that is adding a test plan. So under test runs, under this test runs and results, we see there is another functionality called add test plan, but it's completely up to you guys. Like this basically gives you an option, like for example, whoever, like all of us who are working on, like we'll work in a test environment, then after that a UAT environment, a production environment. Basically this is what it's doing. This test plan is not like a real test plan we are talking about. It's basically giving us the option to select our environments. We just select our environments and we'll say, okay, as a part of this test environment, I want to do this UAT environment, or I want to do pre-prod, I want to do this. So it's like that. So let's add one test plan and see how it works. So test plan for, maybe we would say test plan for sprint, sprint 1.0. Then the milestone is that same one, and please add test runs to this plan. So basically add test run. So as you clicked it, as we click it, it comes up here with that option. Once it comes up with this option, select cases. When you click on it, then whatever test cases you have written, they will come up here, pop up here. You select which ones to be part of it and click OK. So those all will be part of the test plan. Now once you've selected them, the next one, okay, you can just assign to yourself. So click OK. Then if we see this configuration, if you click on this configuration, it comes up. This is the main thing here. So basically now here you will tell like, okay, then like for example, you could say it's web testing, something like that. Add group. So then add configurations. Then for web testing, you need Chrome browser. Add configuration. Then IE browser, for example. Then you can add another configuration saying like OS operating system, and you could say add group, and as a part of it again you can add configuration saying okay, this is Windows, uh, and add configuration Mac. Then let's add another group as databases, and let's see, maybe add like Oracle, DB2, whatever. Okay. Okay. So once you add those configurations and click OK. So now if we go to overview, okay. No. Hi Kapil. No, same place. Yeah, that link come through that Skype link, yeah? Okay. 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 Expected is whatever the test run. Hello guys, everybody's here. Oh.
Yes, I joined right now.
Okay, okay, all good. So I was just telling about adding these test plans. Just give me 1 second. For some reason, it's not coming up here. What happened to the just added? Add test plan. So weird. Should have come up under test runs and results. Let add one more time and see. Add test plan. So functional. Yeah. I'll maybe change the name as smoke test something. Okay. And test run. Just add it to myself. Configurations are there. So I could see the configurations there. That's not a problem. The main reason is maybe because I didn't select which ones we are going to. So if I say I want to test this on Chrome and IE and click OK, now you will see this is what I was missing here. So basically it will just add those tests for Chrome testing in Chrome browser and also for testing in IE browser. So then you have to select your test cases and add them. Just do the same for the above one. Add your test cases, click OK. Assign, yeah, because it's only me now. Assign just myself. So now we have configured it. Add test plan. Okay. Now if you see, for this particular scenario, we have a test runs, two test runs, one for Chrome browser testing and one for IE browser testing. So if you go into test runs and results, you will see the first one we created was this functional test one. The second one we created was this smoke test one. This smoke test one again has two sets in it. One is the Chrome browser testing and one is for IE browser. So if you go further down inside it, there are a couple of test cases. Like that you can further, like if you have to test in multiple browsers or multiple environments, you can use the test plan section, and using that configuration tool you can set up your configurations and accordingly you can test it. Any questions here? Now let's go into this functional test one which we created initially. We select one particular test and let's start executing that, and let's see how it works. And prior to that I want to tell you one more thing, sorry. If we go to test runs and results, and so functional tests again, okay, that option is not okay. Test cases, sorry, test cases. You see this folder test cases has these ones, but if you want to further divide this, like if you have another section and like inside the test cases you want to write as login test cases, navigating test cases, or credit card payments test cases, you can just click this add section and create your own folder for login test cases, for example. So all those test cases would be actually separated properly. Then you will have individual test cases sitting based on your folder name, and it would be easy for you to find them also. So now go to test results, functional tests. Select one particular test. You can click on it. Then you could say that's the first test case. When we can say add results, you click add results. Then basically it pops up with the screen, and in the screen you will have your steps. So the first one we said open browser from your desktop, enter URL, expected result, system should navigate. So if this step, like okay, now we are in the testing phase and we see okay everything is good, then you can change it to past here. Then if you have any screenshot, drag drop here, and as expected, this is what we were expecting, as expected, and just assign to yourself. Yeah, this has to be configured, these versions, everything can be configured here. So then how much time did you take for it, and this defect, this is what it's talking about. This defect again, because if it was a Jira add-in, you could just enter the link. So you just enter the link and that means there is a defect for it if it fails. So that's how you add the results. That's done. So that's passed. Now let's go back and execute the next one. So if you see, this is what it's saying, like, okay, 50% of the test cases are passed. And yeah, that's what we see from this pie chart. So select the next one. For example, if we fail this one, add results, and let me fail this one, or let's say blocked, and add results. And if we go back, wow, so sorry, I think I picked it as passed, so that means 100% passed. So yeah, so that's the functionality of this tool. It's a very simple tool, nothing much in it. You can easily create a project and yeah, create your milestones, create your test runs, and for the test runs you add your test cases to it and basically run them. Any questions here?
Can we able to run this automatically instead of running manually?
This is just a normal testing tool, yeah. So this in it can't be automated. If you have automated test cases sitting somewhere, maybe but I am not sure
No,
because I didn't look
like
at that
API call.
functional.
If we
Sorry,
have API call, do we have
you
any
okay?
API calls for this to
No,
run
it's a
automatically?
testing tool. Like it's just a simple testing tool like ALM or your Zypher or those ones where you just let's think this like a repository where you store your test cases and where you see your progress.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so nothing more than that. This is a very, very simple tool. It's just like another add-in for your Jira, where you just add your test cases and just
Similar,
track.
same kind of.
Yeah, just you can just track. That's it. Nothing more than that. And even defects also you can't add them. For the defects also you have to again go back to Jira again for the links.
Is there a way to import the requirements so you can sort of link requirement to a test case and have traceability?
As I said to you in the test cases that while we are creating the test cases, we had that option. Yeah, let's look at a new one. Okay, add. So here reference. This is where you are linking your sprint. I mean your story basically. You
Okay,
have a G story. You just give the URL here.
right.
If we are using it as an independent tool, it's not great. If you use it as a part of Jira, then it's okay. That's what I would say. Because there is no defect section, there is no requirement section. Whereas if you go to ALM, it has like dashboard,
Yeah,
requirement section, test plan, test lab, and defect section, which is like a pattern you will see. But here we don't have that.
right.
It's a very basic tool, and yeah, just select your tools. I mean, just write your test cases and run them.
Hmm.
Got it.
All good, guys.
Good, good, good. Thank you, Jagan. Can you show some report sections too?
Yeah, I would not used much, but I created just one, yeah, in front of you.
Okay.
So basically, it's just saying like I've executed this one. But you can play with the reports. There are plenty here options.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want defect report or what? Sorry, not defect report. Yeah, only planning report and your milestones, whatever. You can do it yourself. It's a very basic tool, so you can easily configure yourself and look at it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, I just select that milestone, add reports.
Good.
Yeah, so if you see this one, that milestone had like other test cases also, yeah, because we created one for Chrome and one for IE. So it's showing like in this 33% means two test cases means one one test plan which we created, we passed it. There were other two which are waiting to be done. So if you see here, this is what it talks about. Sorry, test runs. So we run this one, but in this one we didn't run anything.
Okay.
It's a very simple tool. You can easily create yourself. Yeah, it's not big deal. This thing you can't check here because again, as I said to you, you have to have your Jira link. Then only you can see the report. I mean the defects list. But only thing what it will give you is if your test case fails, it will tell you okay, it's failed.
Okay. But defect linking and all will be done in the Jira.
Yeah, so basically in Jira, you have used Jira, yeah. So you know, let's just create a issue and
Yes.
issue type as a bug, and then that's a defect. And you assign to the test case. You link it to the test case and fail the test case.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jagan.
Okay, okay, yeah. It's a very basic tool, and I've spent like maybe a few hours to just look at it, how it works. So if you want to go a bit more advanced, maybe you can go to that website itself.
Don't think so.
Test.
That advanced level, it's been
Sorry,
there.
sorry, you said something, Evan?
No, I don't think so. There is advanced level in this.
Yeah. It is very basic. So there's not much in it, as you said. That's right. It's a simple tool, but at least good to add to your resume, like you know the tool. Because if somebody says like, okay, with Jira we are using this plugin, yeah, we know how to use this now. So we know how to write test cases, how to execute the test cases, how to create test runs, milestones, test plans. So yeah.
Mm. Did you come across anything that allows you to write BDD in the test cases in here, or is it just plain English steps?
We can write in our, yeah, you can write, yeah, but let's see one because add test case. Again, you are writing in your test steps only, yeah. So basically, you can just write your steps here, like give and when, then. So it won't stop you writing. It's again English, but it won't go as a BDD framework because if you see type, sorry, if you see the templates, it just has like exploratory session, steps,
Yeah,
and text. So
yeah,
we can say give and when, then, and we can just go do whatever. Yeah.
right, right. That's I've been using Cucumber Studio, which used to be called Hip Test, and it's by SmartBear, and it's an even more basic sort of version of TestRail. But the thing it offers is it helps you with the BDD steps. It helps you create them and reuse them as well through tests. So once you've written, a step that says given the user's logged in, then that you don't have to write that step again. It's kind of there, ready to use for every test you need it in.
Yeah, understood. So it gives you a template, you're saying, yeah?
Yeah. But at a step level, it reuses every step where if you need it in another test, so you can add data tables and break down steps into more steps and that sort of thing. So that's its key feature, is being able to sort of manage BDD and develop the BDD and make it reusable. But it's not got all these nice features that TestRail has with templates and automation types and it's just not as neat and as well featured as TestRail.
Yeah. And one more thing, as you requested how to import the test cases from an Excel sheet, I will create a document and leave it on that WhatsApp group so you guys can look at it. This also talks about these tables, but I didn't find it to be much interesting because um, if if you say add table, it just adds like that. So
All
it's
right.
like yeah. So then you
Yeah. You still got to type it all in.
yeah, like olden days sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that thing, I will just create a document and submit. Put it on that WhatsApp group. Other than that, I don't have much to cover on this one. So it's if it's an automation test, basically you're saying this is my it says RunnerX, so it connects with RunnerX then. So that's what it is talking about here. So it integrates with RunnerX then. That's another simple automation tool. So Okay, guys, we stop here then.
Yep. Very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Talk to you then. Bye.
Bye bye.